From the Associated Press, the latest, protests over immigration raids spread across the U.S. Protests against immigration raids are spreading from Los Angeles to cities like Seattle, Chicago, and New York, with more planned this week. In Houston, Mayor Whitmer says the police are ready for peaceful protests, while Texas Governor Abbott has National Guard troops on standby. Chicago's Mayor Johnson reports mostly peaceful demonstrations, though one woman was injured when struck by a car during a protest. In Los Angeles, 2 people face charges for throwing Molotov cocktails, and Department of Homeland Security says 9 arrested had prior convictions. From USA Today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott orders National Guard to immigration protests. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is sending National Guard troops to areas expecting protests against immigration raids following clashes in Austin. In Austin, police arrested 8 after some protesters threw rocks and graffitied buildings, with 4 officers injured. The move echoes President Trump's deployment of Guard troops and Marines in Los Angeles, despite objections from California's Governor Newsom. Nationwide anti-ICE protests are growing, with No King's Day demonstrations planned for June 14th in solidarity with Los Angeles. From Fox News, Hegseth spars with Senate Democrats over Marine deployment to LA anti-ICE riots, not about lethality. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth defended deploying 700 Marines and 4,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles amid anti-ICE protests. Hegseth says the mission is about maintaining order, not lethality, supporting ICE agents facing attacks during raids. Democratic Senator Jack Reed called the deployment illegal, arguing it undermines military readiness and civil law enforcement. California's Governor Newsom is suing over the deployment, with a court hearing set for Thursday to review its legality. From CNN, world's most popular TikTok star Khaby Lame leaves the U.S. after being detained by ICE. Khaby Lame, the world's top TikTok star with 162 million followers, was detained by ICE in Las Vegas for overstaying his visa. The Senegalese-Italian influencer was held Friday, but allowed to leave the U.S. voluntarily, avoiding a deportation order. His detainment comes amid President Trump's immigration crackdown, sparking protests across Los Angeles and beyond. Lame, a UNICEF ambassador, has not commented publicly, leaving fans wondering about his next move. From Newsweek, Pete Hegseth reacts to double standard between January 6 and LA riots. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth faced questions over deploying troops to Los Angeles protests, but not on January 6, 2021. Hegseth defended sending 4,000 National Guard and 700 Marines to support ICE, saying it's about protecting agents, not lethality. Senator Chris Murphy pressed Hegseth on perceived double standard, comparing the LA response to the Capitol riot. Hegseth called the protests a response to an invasion of migrants, as Congress demands clarity on military funding. From the Wall Street Journal, muted May inflation defies tariff fears. May's inflation rose just 0.1%, defying fears that President Trump's tariffs would spike prices, with yearly inflation at 2.4%. Economists expected higher car and clothing prices, but both dropped, possibly due to weak demand or pre-stocked inventories. The Federal Reserve may hold rates steady next week, but low inflation could open the door for future rate cuts. Trump celebrated the report, urging the Fed to cut rates by a full point as economists watch for tariff impacts later this year.